Hello everyone and welcome to the Dream Team Tonic podcast, proudly sponsored by the largest beer club in the world, Beer 52. They've got over 175,000 subscribers, and for our loyal listeners, we've teamed up with them to bring you an amazing offer. I've got two words for you: free beer. Now those two words excite me, especially when you put them together. If they excite you, head over to beer52.com/tonic and you'll be able to order yourself a free case of 8 uniquely crafted beers. And all you have to do is cover the postage costs of £5.95. You'll receive 8 uniquely crafted beers from that month's particular theme, a magazine and 2 snacks to complement it. Past themes have included Belgium, North and South Korea, California, New Zealand and many more. This changes monthly to keep the excitement going. You will be sampling beers of the world while listening to your favourite pod. So what's not to like? There's an option to choose light ales only if you like me and you prefer them to the dark ales. It is a monthly subscription, but it can be paused or cancelled at any time, so don't worry about that. As a listener, you'll know we love a beer on this pod, from Ben's burping to the sound of tins cracking. So hopefully you can join us for a few and help support our podcast and website going forward. So again, beer52.com/tonic. The offer is there. The postage is £5.95. It's free beer. Right, let's get on with the show. Here we are, episode 7 of the Dream Team Tonic podcast with me, Tony. As usual, Ben. You there, Ben?
All right, mate.
All right, pal. And James, are you there, mate?
I'm here, mate.
Happy days. First off, a big get well soon to Harvey Elliott. A devastating injury today. Such a shame for a young lad. Hopefully he recovers very, very quickly. He's been showing a lot of promise for Blackburn and for obviously Liverpool starting in the Premier League this season. So wish him well. They're never nice to see. We jump into our teams now they've done this week. James, you first up, mate. How are you feeling about your team? How's it done this week?
It's done all right. I'm sort of, it's all right. One good thing is Fabianski finally returned some points.
Yeah.
So that is good. Trent did well, but everyone's got him, haven't they? 10 points. The Spurs, my two Spurs defenders, Reguilon and Dia, are definitely on the naughty step. And I would be looking to get rid of at least one of those next week. I think they've got Chelsea next, haven't they? So
injury for Dia, weren't they? It doesn't look good either.
Yeah, that's right. So Dia's probably going to go. Yeah. In midfield, I kept Fernandes. I was tempted to use him as a make weight for Ronaldo, but I wanted to see how things panned out with the Man United game. And fortunately, with Dream Team's pricing structures, you can just about do it without. I know in some of the other formats, it's virtually impossible to do that. But I kept Fernandes. He returned 8 points. So I'll probably keep him for a bit longer just to see how things pan out. See who's on penalties with between him and Ronaldo. Did you hear what Ollie was saying about it? The penalties.
Yeah, it seems like he's just gonna pick it as and when he's gonna decide.
Yeah,
it's a strange one, but maybe he's gonna go off the basis of who's won the penalty, what time of the game it is. It's a strange one.
It is. So that if they're sharing penalties, it's not as black and white as it might have been.
No,
the decision to keep one or the other or get rid of Fernandes, etc. So I think that's one to watch.
What about Bruno's the top goal scorer in the Premier League as well now? So he won't want to give penalties away, will he?
That's a good point, Ben. Yeah, he'll be like, "Well, I'm going for the Golden Boot.
Yeah,
I've got to take them." And Ronaldo's going to go, "Get back in your place, Fernandes."
There was some venom in that shot, though, weren't there?
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I'm still here.
I'm the king. I'm the king. He was going.
It was.
Yeah, that was fantastic goal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Lovely strike.
Yeah, moving on. I brought in Torres because basically I wanted to capitalise on his price rise. So I brought him in with my final transfers of last month. And he did go up. but he blanked. So he got me 0 points, as did my new acquisition Ben Rama, who was I replaced Mahrez with Ben Rama to give me enough money to move Mane to Ronaldo. Mixed results there, but sticking with the midfield, Grealish I stuck with. He was slightly cheaper than Mahrez, and he seems to be getting a lot more minutes. So
Yeah.
I think he'll just gradually tick along. I don't see him being prolific at this stage, but he's getting a lot of minutes. So I've stuck with Grealish.
I see a lot of 5s from Grealish. I think
Yeah.
he'll get the 7 ratings and the odd assist here and there. Like you say,
Yeah.
I think he might not be prolific with his goals, but if he could tick along at 5s nicely.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So up front, I've got Salah, who got a nice goal today, which was good. Ronaldo, I brought in. Wow, he was always going to bang in a couple of goals, wasn't he?
Well, it seemed to be written, didn't it?
Of course, it's Ronaldo.
I'll be the grumpy bastard that says, I'm fed up of hearing his name. Honestly, fed up of it. I'll be glad when we get 3 or 4 games into it and they stop talking about it. It's all across Sky Sports, BT Sport. It doesn't matter where you look. It's all about Ronaldo's home. And
I guess it will calm down, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Well, instead of it's Ronaldo, you could say it's the Newcastle defence, which is the worst in the league.
True.
So, yeah.
I had I think it was Merson on Soccer Saturday that described he described Ronaldo's first goal, the 4-yard tapping, as phenomenal. I swear to God, because there was only Ronaldo that would ever follow that ball in. It's like, oh come on, get off it. If he's put one in top corner from 25 yards, yeah, go on. Like Fernandez goal was phenomenal. Don't be calling a tapping phenomenal.
Wasn't Merson saying the other day he wasn't too sure about the transfer on Sky Sports?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh God! He flip flops, doesn't he? He's had a few bloopers over the years saying such and such a player's not worth the money, and then they've gone on to be like mega stars.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, though.
I do like Merce. Yeah,
I've actually met him. Did I tell you that?
No.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, no, well, I bumped into him and I said hello, and he said hello back, and he smiled. So I figured he's actually quite a nice guy.
Must be a decent guy, but he doesn't listen to the pod because he's an Arsenal fan. Naturally, we've lost all our Arsenal fans. So
yeah. Well, we have now, Tony. After your latest tweet and everything, the last one left the building yesterday. Anyway, moving on. Just to finish off, Harry Kane up front. No shots on target. In fact, no shots at all from Harry Kane, let alone on target. I'm sure we'll delve into that one a bit later. So, 51 points. Not brilliant, not disastrous. That's my roundup.
Well done. Over to my team. I think out of my 10 teams, it's probably one of my best performing teams. 60 points this week. The Liverpool contingent doing me proud. I always sweat when you're on such a low score and you're waiting and you so much pressure on your players to score in the last game of the week. Obviously, Everton, Burnley tomorrow, but no players covering them. So Alisson in the net, 8 points. Trent Alexander got 10 points. Just seconds missed out on Starman to Fabinho. He made a tackle in the last 5 seconds of the game, which bumped his score up and took the Starman back. But big -5 there from Tanganga, who I know messaged. He was looking so good at centre half. I'm a big fan of his. He's a top drawer player. He just lost his head. Because I don't know if you're watching the game, but the Zaha incident. I think after that he was so pumped up. He were he wanted every challenge, and he was just too enthusiastic. And on a yellow card, a wiser head would not have gone anywhere near that challenge. And the rest is history. Spurs got a bit of a hammering after that. It's a shame, but -5, there we are. Luke Shaw, 5 points, got an assist. United still can't keep clean sheets, even against Newcastle at home. So it's not looking good there. A lot of people probably started out with United blocks, and all them teams are languishing. If you've not jumped off them already. Fernandes, I kept him. I wanted to see what happened with Ronaldo, if I'm honest. I didn't want to rip up my team too much to fit Ronaldo in. Although I've probably got the funds here or there, and I could have done it. But yeah, each goal he scored was a little bit painful. Mahrez, he didn't get on the pitch. I'm hoping he gets on, obviously, in European game this week.
Definitely.
I did have him transferred out this afternoon for Robertson. And I bottled it at last minute. Mahrez, because we preach it, and we've just got to leave him in, and hopefully he wrestles that spot back off Jesus. We'll see.
He's definitely playing in Champions League, I reckon.
He's got to have,
definitely,
because he didn't even get 10 minutes at the end. He's fresh. Surely he gets that place for Champions League. We'll see that.
Probably get
Ferran Torres. Obviously, James broke Ferran Torres by bringing him in. It's a big zero.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
One man who isn't broken is Adama Traore. The Who scored ratings are broken, but yeah, he gets a nice 8 points. Star man, guaranteed.
Baby oil, man.
That's it. Lathered up in baby oil. Slick. So yeah, easy 8 points for him. Salah doing the business with a goal. Could have been a bit better, especially after the sending off. That never was. But, they had a lot of chances after that. Mane, Jesus Christ, Mane. How many should he have had? 4 or 5? Ridiculous.
He had over 10 shots on goal, didn't he? And he should have. He should have scored it. He should have had a hat trick. Just was not going for him today, but he did get one. He kept plugging away, and he got one in the end.
Yeah, I'm happy he got one. I like Mane. I do like him. But yeah, I was hoping all them chances fell on the other side of the pitch, though, but it didn't happen. Harry Kane, big disappointment in all formats for me this weekend. Big fat 0. Another reason I didn't want to squeeze Ronaldo in there too early was I kept my faith in Kane. Hopefully, he comes good midweek. They play him and he can avoid a price drop, which wouldn't be good. Probably force my hand, I think, if he gets that price drop. And Lukaku, who I brought in for Mane. I didn't want. I didn't want to double up on the Liverpool, and I fancied Lukaku against Villa. So Mane out and Lukaku in for me, which worked out well. 60 points, 1 transfer made, 240 in total. So it's very, very. It's ticking along steadily, that team. I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair. Four transfers left.
Tony, did you bring that Lukaku in after you seen Ronaldo banged a couple of goals in?
Yeah, it was one of them. I just wanted to spread the. I thought Liverpool would score goals.
Yeah.
And now I'm pinning my hopes on Salah being the one that scores them, and then Lukaku against Villa. Who Villa have been shaky at the back at the start of the season, and he's a goal scorer in Lukaku. He's gonna score a ton load of goals. So yeah, maybe the Ronaldo thing. Thinking I've missed out on that one. Let's get Lukaku in.
Yeah,
possibly a little bit to do with it.
Especially with Martinez missing that game, you'd think he'd get a few goals, which he did.
Yeah, with Jed Steer in there.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out right. Obviously, Manny got a goal today. Probably could have saved the transfer, but yeah, it's tidied up. Obviously, there's a long way to go this game week because we've got the European games. But halfway house, I'm happy enough. What about you, Ben? Jump onto yours, mate.
Yeah, 55 points so far. Not a bad week. I've got Sanchez in goal, got me another clean sheet, 5 points. Trent, as you said, got 10 points for an assist and a clean sheet. Cresswell got 5 points. Shame he didn't get the 8.
Yeah.
And then Reguilon, -2 for that shambles of a performance against Palace.
One of the better players, Regulon, though, I think.
Yeah.
On the pitch, he performed all right.
He's the most nailed on, isn't he, I think, in that Spurs backline, Reguilon. He's the only top draw player they've got there, I think.
Yeah.
He always looks like he's got an assist in him as well, but he doesn't seem to get many.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wan-Bissaka brought in to enable some funds for the Ronaldo transfer. So I took Wan-Bissaka out. I took Mahrez out and Antonio out for Ronaldo and Wan-Bissaka. So and then I left Bruno in there. So like you say, you want to see how he does against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Looks like he's still one of the main guys in the team, doesn't he? Even with Ronaldo there.
Yeah.
And I brought Torres in for Pogba, which I thought was a good transfer at the time because he's playing centre forward for City, so it's a out of position midfielder. Pogba got another 2 assists, didn't he? So he's got 7 assists this season. It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
But do you really want that many Man United players? You want Fernandes, Ronaldo. Pogba's a bit overkill, I think. Especially with all the options you've got now.
He's always a couple of hours away from being out on the side for 5 or 6 games because he's having a bit of a sulk.
And he's playing deep. He's playing deeper now as well. So he's playing.
Because the options they brought in with Sancho, Ronaldo, he's not going to be getting that wide left berth.
Yeah.
It's tricky with Pogba, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tricky one.
Yeah. He's not going to get star man either with them 2 in the team.
No, I doubt it. Very much doubt it.
I've still got Ali in there. I thought the fixtures are good for Palace. Spurs. Palace battered him, I mean. Yeah, so I thought he might have got a goal. He likes playing against Palace, but didn't. And then they play Rennes in the Europa Conference, so I'm hoping for something in that. Salah, 8 points for a goal. Like you say, Kane, shambles.
Yeah.
But let's see if he does anything in Europa Conference. If he don't play in the Europa Conference, then you start thinking about taking him out if he's only going to play 1 game a week.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo, the big man, 18 points, man of the match. I took Son out for Salah. That's how. So I've done 4 transfers this week.
Yeah, and only the 1 transfer left. Are you feeling nervous about that, Ben?
Yeah, but I had to get Ronaldo in. I had to get Salah in.
Yeah.
And Torres was like, he's playing up front, and he's a midfielder. I just thought I have to get him in case he bangs. He's been playing really well. He got 20 points last week. So
not too sure about Ali. I mean, and then you said he's playing Reigns in. They're playing Reigns in midweek. I mean, he could, against some of these. I mean, Rennes aren't. They're in the French league, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they tend to sell all their best players, and that they have a good season after a good season, and then they rebuild.
Yeah.
It's the sort of opposition where he could actually end up with a good haul. So my initial thought was, Ali's still in there, but that might prove to be a masterstroke. Be interesting to see the team sheet, won't it, on Thursday?
Yeah, ideally I wanted to keep Mahrez, but I couldn't do it if I wanted Ronaldo, so I had to do it. Yeah,
I think you got to look at getting rid of one of your luxury midfielders, hadn't you, to fund that move to Ronaldo, because he's obviously at 7.5 million. I know it's obviously been discussed as well with the price rises. You think Ronaldo's probably going to go up as well this week?
He will do, yeah.
So if you've not got him in, which I've got him in a few teams, but I haven't got him in my Dream Team Tonic team is if Kane doesn't perform Thursday, it's something that it'd be a mass exodus off him, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Kane could quickly become a differential.
Yeah. I know. It's unbelievable,
It's
really.
scary, but it could happen. Yeah. Decent though, 230 there, Ben. You're going to be happy enough with that start. I know, obviously, you spent a lot of transfers there, but if Spurs, I think Spurs are probably going to play quite strong in midweek after that result.
Yeah.
I think a bit of confidence.
Mm.
You've got to try and get into a rhythm. Like, obviously, they won the first few and not conceded. Bit of a wake up call that from what happened. They were missing a couple at the back anyway. The red card. Do you look a bit one dimensional? Should I say it? Is that? Do you look a bit? They don't look like they've got much ideas going forward. To be
Yeah.
fair, but I do think they look solid at the back. Even that Tanganga looked good. Reguilon looks good at left back. Joe Rodon looked good as well when he come on. To be fair to that young lad, he looked all right. I just think, they need to click something going forward. They don't want to rely on Kane dropping back 30, 40 yards to try and pick up a ball to feed nobody because Son's not on the pitch. So they have to sort that out quickly. But in that Europa Conference competition, it's prime to
And especially
sort it out.
especially with some of the opposition have got in there.
Yeah.
Like they've got that Vitesse from Holland, and then they've got Mura, which I've never even heard of, in the third game. So they could go mental against them if they can start scoring some goals. Like
that's it. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, we'll probably touch on it now. We've got a lot of listeners' questions here, so we'll delve into them. But I think we're halfway through the game week, so we're not going to basically write everybody off at this moment in time, but especially Harry Kane. Right, listeners' questions. So Matty Blake, straight in on the Spurs topics. What do you guys think of Tanganga? He looks good, and I've got him in both my teams, but he's worrying me as he seems very card happy. Should I stick with, or who should I swap to as another cheap option? My feelings are no on Tanganga. I think he's a quality player, and he played centre half this weekend. Looked very, very good. Although Spurs didn't look good, but he looked good until he got into a bit of trouble. Unfortunately, he got himself sent off, and he'll miss one game for 2 years. Would I get rid of him? I can't see much around his price bracket. I think he'll play in Europe on Thursday, won't he? He's able to play in Europe. So I think he's only going to miss one Premier League game. I don't think he's someone that you should be desperate to get rid of at that price range. But James, do you disagree? Agree?
Oh, it's tricky. That's the problem with players in that price bracket, isn't it? It's difficult to find ready-made replacements. I'm not completely convinced by that Spurs defence, and you've got to look at the defence as a whole and not an individual player. Their XGC isn't great. Even prior to playing Crystal Palace, it wasn't great, but they were quite fortunate to keep 3 clean sheets. Yeah. Saying that, I do think Nuno is quite a cautious manager. So it depends on how many transfers you've got left, whether you can jig things around. You probably have to make 2 transfers really to bring somebody half decent in as a replacement. If you've got if you've still got 5 left, then I would say maybe do it. Otherwise, certainly keep an eye on Thursday. I know I'm going to be reducing the Spurs coverage in a lot of my sides, so but that's slightly off topic. But well, hopefully that's given you some food for thought, Matty.
I mean, obviously he plays Thursday. He'll probably play in the European game against Rennes, so he might even get a clean sheet. He might get Starman. He might actually avoid a price decrease this week.
He might get a yellow card.
Yeah, it's true. But then he'll miss the game against Chelsea at the weekend. So that might be a good thing.
Yeah.
If
that
we
might
get a
be
bit of
good.
bathroom. And he'll be back for the Wolves game. It might work out in his favour that he's suspended for that Chelsea game. But again, it's books maybes. But what do you reckon, Ben? What would you do with Tanganga?
Yeah, like you said, if you've got plenty of transfers, then you could move him on. But at his price, you're not really expecting many points from him anyway. You'd be happy with 5 points or 8 points. His ceiling isn't very high. You're not expecting any goals or assists from him, are you? So you could stick with him. But if you were if you wanted to move him on, you could move him on to a couple of West Ham centre halves. So you got Dawson and Ogbonna. They're at 2.1 million, both playing at the minute. But obviously you got to be wary that Zuma's just signed for West Ham and he'll be pushing for a place soon. So one of them will drop out. Bertrand's just come back for Leicester, 2 million, and he's on free kicks and corners. He's quite a good pick. And Vestergaard's just come back from injury as well, 2.6 million. And if you can push a little bit more, Matip at Liverpool, 3.1. He's nailed in the team at the minute. I don't know what's going to happen in the Champions League, though. They might play the new player, Kanate. So, just one to look at.
Yeah, good shouts.
Good shout, Ben. Yeah.
On to the next one, Mark Williamson. Loving the pod, gents. Always nice to hear. Is there a formation currently missing from the game that you would like introduced? He might be tempted to bite the buzz with a 5-3-2. He's going pretty new now. He was a 5-3-2. For me, 3-5-2.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably not so much this season because of how many striking assets they are. But if you were to drop a few of them winger striker like wide left, wide right, back into midfield and have a 3-5-2 option, I think it'd work pretty well. What do you lads think?
Yeah, I agree with you. 3-5-2 gives you 7 attacking players then. But obviously they're not this season. Now that they've signed, we've got Lukaku and Ronaldo coming into the Premier League. And you've got Antonio Calvert-Lewin as well doing all right at the minute. So there's quite a few options. But obviously I wouldn't pick them last two at the minute, obviously. Antonio's just got a red card. So
I wrote down exactly the same thing. I think in previous seasons 3-5-2 would have been quite handy. Like you said, not this season, but they should add it to the game. And next year might be all different again. Of course, a 3-3-4 would be nice. But no, seriously, and they're not going to do that, are they? I with regards to his comment about the 5-3-2, I've rarely thought about playing 5 at the back. Certainly in Dream Team, I don't think that would be a great strategy.
No.
That's more a Telegraph strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Onwards, McFlurryos. Simply, I mean, Raheem Sterling at 4.3. That is, it's a statement. It's a question, all wrapped up. And Jesus Christ, have we ever seen Sterling at 4.3 million in this game?
He come on at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's a shame.
He replaced Torres at about 60 minutes, I think.
That's a shame because if he didn't come on, you could have moved him in for somebody who didn't play.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling he'll start in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think he's a very good option. Don't know what's... Obviously, Grealish has come in. He's main man on that left-hand side. Mahrez seems to have dropped out of the picture. Sterling, the two darlings probably of last year, have made way for Jesus and Grealish.
I think it's all going to change when the Champions League starts. They've got to start rotating the teams.
Yeah, the pen roulette wheel will be back out.
Yeah, there'll be more options and
De Bruyne to come back.
Yeah.
I think
he hasn't played.
Massively affects Torres. That I can see him playing false 9 with De Bruyne.
KDB hasn't played either, so he's still a open player for Champions League.
Yeah, true. Mahrez to KDB.
Yeah.
Was he on the bench?
Mahrez.
KDB.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Right.
I was tempted to bring him in, but then I thought, I'll wait.
Because I did see the training pictures of him, and I wondered. Obviously, I didn't see him in the lineup, so that's an interesting one. But Mahrez is probably going to start anyway in the Champions League. But if he didn't, I might be tempted by that. Mahrez to KDB. It'd be a differential.
He would be.
Imagine we could be talking 2 weeks' time about KDB and Kane both being lowly owned and Jesus, right?
Still quite pricey though, isn't it? Could you afford to do that? 6.5 million.
5.8, isn't he?
Is he 5.8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still 0.8 more.
I've had my eye on him. I've been looking at him.
You'd be spending your Ronaldo money on him, probably. But yeah, it's one to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
I think for Tuesday, see what happens. The night watchman, the player change rule needs discussing, lads. We was told we could change players if they didn't feature, and he's tried taking Son out during the game to Lukaku in one of his teams to test it, and it's still pending. Obviously, he's missed out on the points as well. Don't want to delve too much into all like the rigmarole of these. We said at the start of the season it could be a little bit of a disaster on Dream Team's part. I think going forwards, obviously, but I'm speaking to quite a few people who have done the transfers, who've been caught out by it, and who haven't, as well as you, James. I know you did a transfer. During the game, if you make that transfer and the player's playing as Son was in this instance, Spurs was playing, so he's locked out technically. The transfer jumps into pending. So I would guess after the end of that game, if you'd reverse that transfer and just refreshed it basically, and then put Son in once he was and transferred Son out once he was unlocked at the end of the game, and put Lukaku in, the transfer would have gone through instantly. And it's a little bit of a glitch.
It's just a nightmare.
The Dream Team app isn't that clever as seasoned players. You can never trust that app, and for it to do something maybe fancies is a little bit complicated was probably asking a bit too much. Not your fault now, Watchman, obviously. You just expect it to switch from out of pending because obviously Son hasn't played to just doing the transfer, and that would be what
it should be locked.
App and
it should be locked during the game. You shouldn't be able to do any transfers.
Yeah, it should. That would save the hassle.
Yeah, but again, and then you'll remember to do it after the game or before the game. You know what I mean? You can't. It's true. It's not your fault, but the game's got a glitch.
No, I was so saying, but obviously we can go around it and all these different scenarios. I think going forward, if we're going to give people advice on what to do with the transfers in future, is just either make it after the game or before the game. Don't try and do it in that period of when that team of that player is playing, because I think the app won't get that, and you're going to end up burnt. So it isn't great. I know there's been a few messages back and forth, and they're trying to sort it out, and we'll keep you posted on that. But we don't want to go too deep into that. That's all. I think just try and plan your transfers around after the game or before. That'd probably help you out, and it'd probably stop any incident like that in the future. And hopefully you get your points for Lukaku sorted out, mate. Right, on to Steve Cheek, who was the leader after Gameweek 1. He's considering rotating his front three premiums. Should this be based on fixtures or budget building? Go on, James.
I like the idea. I think you should be rotating your premium forward. Well, I always look at the fixtures every month and plan my transfers around it that way. Chelsea have got a nice run coming up. I suppose you could be looking at moving your Kane to Lukaku for that reason or something like that. But there is the budget building aspect as well, of course, that Kane might go down this week, for instance, and Lukaku is going to go up. I think there's a balance to be had there. In the early parts of the season, I've been trying to build the value of my team. If Kane doesn't play on Thursday, I'm definitely going Kane to Lukaku. Personally, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think if obviously, so when we're looking at it, if say Kane blanks on Thursday, and he's going to go down in price, and Lukaku's obviously going to go up in price after his 2-goal haul. I think if you're looking past it and you're planning for your fixtures, I wouldn't, and you're fancying Kane for the next 4 weeks, I wouldn't jump off Kane just because he's going to go down and Lukaku's going to go up. I think with them types of players, they're going to each bang at different times, and if you fancy Kane for the next 4 weeks, don't jump off him just because he's going to go down 0.2 million. You get what I mean?
That's a good point, Tony. I agree with that, and I should have said caveated what I said with exactly what you've just said.
But you've also mentioned, obviously, within this instance, this scenario, Lukaku going up in price, and Chelsea's good fixtures are just around the corner.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a point where you're probably going to want Lukaku in this instance.
I think there is, yeah.
When we go to fixtures or budget, if you're fancying that player, don't take him out because he's dropping when he's got good fixtures around the corner. That's all. That's all I'd say.
Yeah.
Ben, if you want to add something to that, mate.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Just obviously they play each other next week, Tottenham, Chelsea, and then they have a League Cup game against Villa and Wolves, respectively. But then after the week after that, Chelsea plays City and Juventus.
Yeah.
And while Kane plays Arsenal and Mura. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? That looks like a nice... If he plays in Europa Conference, then it's a bit hard to take him out, I think.
It's a massive headache.
Yeah.
Headache all over it, that is.
What about with Son? Well, obviously Sonny's out injured at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that those two last year they were assisting each other, both scoring goals from each other's assists. He's going to miss having somebody of that quality alongside him, isn't he?
Definitely.
I can't see that being good for him, being Sonny out. It's going to be detrimental. Do we know how long Sonny's out for? Have you seen any reports?
I've not heard anything other than they're waiting. They're awaiting results, and
keep an eye on that one, I'd say, because if Sonny's out, that's definitely a negative mark for Kane, I think.
Yeah, I think it impacts both goals and assists, doesn't it?
Yeah. You'd rather be playing in a Chelsea team than a Spurs team, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Striker.
Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea are looking a little bit like City was last year, and a little bit fixture proof. I think they're such a good side, and then Lukaku. I don't think it matters what centre half he's against. Whether, like you say, they're playing Juventus and City. Did you say City and Juventus in the same week?
Yeah.
Who's to put it past Lukaku getting 2 or 3 goals, and then he's one of them, isn't he? So yeah, Steve, about rotating your front three, mate. Always just build on what you believe in your fixtures. Really, with them kind of players. Another one from Stevie G. Mahrez, sticker twist. He doesn't seem to be getting the starts at the moment. I just said earlier what I think about Mahrez. I left him in my team. I'm hoping he plays on Tuesday. What do you guys think? Would you sticker twist?
It's the age-old question, isn't it? Steve, you've not been listening to our pods, have you? You need to listen to every episode. Yeah, we discussed this one quite a lot. I think the general consensus is you've got to stick with him, haven't you? I mean, obviously, if he's not getting starts going forwards, a lot more blanks, then you might need to get rid of him. But yeah, I'd probably stick with him. I got rid of him though, but only to get funds for Ronaldo. I'd stick with him. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, you've got him for the Champions League on Wednesday, so I'd be sticking with him for now. The only reason I got rid of him, like you say, Torres was cheaper, and he's playing up front, and I wanted Ronaldo, so I had to move some funds about, and he didn't start the game, so that's why I did it.
Well, not right in saying that the last 2 game weeks before this one, he came on and hauled, didn't he? Did he get an assist one week and a goal the other?
Yeah,
that's right. He's trickling along. He's not been explosive yet.
Yeah, there's been no explosion from him, but
Man City, apart from the game against Norwich, haven't really. Well, not less. I haven't watched the highlights yet.
Arsenal 5-0 as well, though, didn't they?
Oh God, yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh, don't bring that back up.
How did City play against Leicester, Ben? Because I didn't see that game, and I haven't watched Match of the Day yet.
They were probably the better team. They had a good few chances. Casper had a good load of saves to do, but Vardy had a goal chalked off just after half time for offside, and he didn't even show you the replay, with the lines and that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You were watching it via a legal source, I hope, Ben.
Oh yeah, I was watching it on the.
Were you in Spain?
TV,
you were in Spain, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah, unless you're moving.
I'll watch Match of the Day, mate, later on. Match of the Day.
No, of course.
If you're moving Mahrez on to fund a move like Ronaldo or Lukaku, then yeah. But if you're looking at a sideways move, Mahrez is a sticker. You just got to stick with him.
Yeah.
Connor, not getting any Dream Team questions, but he's starving as he writes this. So, what's your favourite meat on your Sunday dinners? Go on, James.
It's got to be rare roast beef for me.
Yeah.
With obviously with some nice horseradish on the side.
And Ben?
Well, if I had to pick one, it'd be lamb. But if I'm at a carvery, I'm having all of it. and the gammon.
All three.
And the gammon. Love a gammon from the carvery, definitely.
For me, it's slow cooked beef in red wine. Get it? It's gotta be. But I did actually have a Sunday roast today, and I cooked the chicken, and to be fair, it were absolutely beautiful. I seasoned it, so it was.
It would be good if you cooked it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's it, mate. I did a good job of it. So, but yeah, if I get the choice, I'd have a massive beef joint, slow cooking all day. But yeah, Keith Ledger, love the name. If he's actually called Keith Ledger as well. Is it worth getting Conor Gallagher without European matches to free up cash for the big hitters? This is like a bandwagon thing, isn't it? I mean, he's looked very, very good. I watched the Spurs game. Conor Gallagher, he's ripping it up, and he's been a guy who's touted massive talent, been on loan to a few places, and now he's obviously got to move to Palace, and he's doing very, very well. He's scored a few goals, but for me, no. But you
for
chaps.
Me, no.
For me, no. That's because I'm northern. That's my accent, isn't it? For me, no. Love it. Go on, Ben. What about you? For me, yeah.
No, well, he's looking really good. He's got a 7 rating in every game so far, but not in Dream Team for me. He's in my Sky team. I've got him in there because he's on free kicks, corners. He loves a tackle, loves a shot. So he's good Sky. If anyone's listening, he'll play Sky, but not Dream Team. In my opinion, with the European games, you need to max out on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He got most of his. He's got 24 Dream Team points, something like that. Most of his points came against West Ham. He got 18 of his points against West Ham. You've got to be careful of these players that get a big haul against one opposition, and then it skews the stats a little bit. The rest of it's pretty average. He got a 4 or 3 and a did not play and a -1 in his other games. So yeah, I'd be wary of bringing in non-European players.
Now you said that reminds me of Aubameyang. He's top of the points list now.
Yeah,
We're not going like that.
He got a hat
after
trick.
one game.
Yeah, he got a hat trick against West Brom in the League Cup, and then they scored against Norwich. Now he's got 2 points. He's 2 points ahead of Salah and Trent.
That's toshing it.
Let's see if he keeps it up.
Oh, sure, there's not going to be a moment I'm sat here saying we need to get Aubameyang in our teams, but we'll see. We'll see. I can't see it. I'm not even going to it, but the Norwich game, to win 1-0.
Yeah.
Thinking, but that were a game that were there for Arsenal, to be fair, to kickstart the season.
Yeah.
And apparently they just scraped by with that 1-0. But with regards to Conor Gallagher, I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to bag you massive points. Ronaldo 9 has been on. If Kane doesn't start in the Europa Conference group game on Thursday, does he realistically have to make way to getting Samuel Lukaku, Ronaldo, who all definitely play their Champions League group games? It's a good question, and it's probably one we've already touched on. I guess that if Kane isn't going to be involved in these Thursday games, that is the move. That I think that front three of Salah, Lukaku, Ronaldo will become complete template.
Yeah,
because there's only really Kane who could upset that front three going forward into European games, and can make people think, should I keep Kane, should I not? If he don't play in Europe, I think that three comes pretty set. There'll be some people that are priced out of it because obviously of how expensive it is and people going up in price. But yeah, I think you're right there, R9. I think that's the way it'll work. I don't think we have to delve too much deeper into that. But yeah, if Kane isn't going to be involved in them games, get that three in. Flower Pot Man, are there any players on your radar who you haven't bought in yet, but you can't wait till, etc.? Like, get them in and leave them. Any for you two chaps? Ben?
Well, just the main man from, like, I always have him in Kevin De Bruyne. When he's back banging, he's Starman Magnet, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on him. Hopefully he comes off the bench in the Champions League, does nothing, and drops again in price.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I wrote down KDB, but yeah, he's still relatively expensive, isn't he? So it's going to be difficult to squeeze him in. I do think when you talk about some players on the radar, I do think Chelsea defensive coverage is going to be quite essential going forwards. So yeah, that's my only other comment on that one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what we've got here. KDB, Chelsea defence. I think once Chelsea's fixtures turn, I think we're going to be clamouring. And my darling son probably might come out of the woodwork and fill one of them midfield positions. Mason Mount.
Mason.
He's got. Have you seen his big flag? His big flag in Chelsea end now.
No.
Yeah, it's got a huge flag for him now, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
Tony Mount, he retweeted it earlier.
What's it say?
I can't remember the quote now. A boy that believed something, basically, and now look where he is, kind of thing. It's really nice, but yeah, top player. He might end up in my team. So yeah, Chelsea defence, KDB. I mean, it's weird. Like, we talk about how many weeks now we spoke about the pod, and we've not really touched much on KDB because obviously his injuries and stuff. But he's such a pivotal player in this game, and he's not there yet. So that'll mix things up when he comes back. Obviously, probably Tuesday, maybe next week. So we'll see what happens there. Alan Tatler, he's getting into the Traore debate. How many Starman Awards will Traore get this season? My short answer is, how many games will he play? And he'll probably match up, or he'll be pretty damn close anyway. You lads probably think
What's he got? Three. He's got 3 and 4 now.
Yeah.
3 and 4 Prem games. So, what's that? if he gets
75%.
Yeah, it's just hasn't even got an assist yet, has he?
Well, no, because he keeps putting him in stands, but he dribbles nicely.
Yeah, he's just done a load of dribbling. That's all.
I am
Not a lot of scoring.
I am never picking him, by the way, lads. Not in Dream Team, no way.
You're never picking him.
Never
ever.
picking him. Not while he's playing for Wolves.
No, that Spurs move would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been interesting. That.
Yeah, I think he'd been nailed in a lot of teams. But
yeah,
right, Jay Shep. Who are the must-own, reasonably priced midfielders to have for the month?
I don't think there is any must-own ones, is there?
Well, not that are reasonably priced.
No, like the best one that's pretty cheap was Ferran Torres.
Yeah,
but he's not. We don't know if he's going to play in the Champions League or he's just going to play in the league. You don't know what it's like with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
But I wrote down a couple of players that are quite cheap. If you need an enabler, Ben Rama, 3.1 million.
James broke him.
Yeah, James broke him. His mate Fornals, 3.2 million. Bernardo Silva played at the weekend, 2.9 million. For Liverpool, I was going to say Elliott until he got injured today, which is a shame.
Yeah.
He was only 1.3 million. Nice enabler him. Thiago Alcantara, 2.3 million, got an assist today. He could be a good pick.
Not sure about that one. He's got 2 goals since he's been in Liverpool. He looked great today, though.
Like I say, he's just an enabler, though.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't no essential players that are cheap.
No, I agree.
They all go up in value, don't they? So,
is Thiago going to get more game time now with that injury to Elliott?
I'd say so.
I would think so. Yeah, that was his first start of the season today. But he's had some niggling injuries, and he looked fantastic. Yeah, definitely going to get more starts.
I'm gonna keep my eye on a Leicester player as well. Ademola Lookman. He's only 2 million. I think he'll get a run out in the Europa League on Thursday. We'll see how he does. He's always had a lot of promise, hasn't he?
He has. Dangerous player.
Leicester are missing a right winger since they sold Mahrez. But I know he's a left winger.
He played for Fulham last year in Premier League, didn't he?
Yeah. He usually plays on the left, but he can play on the right. So we'll see what happens. But I hope he starts playing Iheanacho soon because it's not working, this formation.
No. I thought he would have changed it already.
No, Iheanacho's every time he comes on, he changes the game. Like, we played brilliant in the last 20 minutes yesterday with him playing.
Very harsh on Iheanacho because obviously out the way he ended last season. I think to switch it back with Harvey Barnes' return.
Yeah.
And revert back to what they were playing so well towards, and just they should have carried that on. It should have been Harvey Barnes working his way back into the team. To be fair, I love Harvey Barnes. I think he's a quality player, but Iheanacho, what's he done wrong?
Nothing.
I have to see that one, watch that one, because he could be someone who down the line with Leicester being in Europe as well. If they do start to revert back to how when he hit form last year.
Yeah,
and you were electric. Where you were a player you needed to get into your team because you just couldn't stop scoring. So he's one to watch. And as soon as Leicester turn that, if you're after a differential and you're lagging behind in your dream teams or something in your mini leagues, he could be someone who could bump you back up there.
Yeah, but if Barnes picks up another injury at any point, then I think people will be jumping on Iheanacho, won't they? Like last year.
Yeah. Especially people that can't afford to have Lukaku, Ronaldo, or Salah because they've missed out on the budget or other things. I think you touched on all the players there reasonably priced in midfield. I mean, there's no must-ons, but some good options there. Obviously, Sterling touched on earlier at 4.3 million. It's a very good option. Very good option when he plays so far forward, and he loves a goal. FPL, now then, young man. Ian told it all. My forward line is Salah, Kane and Ronaldo. Should I be looking at ditching Kane for Lukaku? Again, I mean, this is how we're 50% through the week and how quickly things can change. If Kane goes and gets an hat-trick on Thursday night against the Minnows, whoever they're playing, Rennes, in the Europa Conference, then people aren't questioning Kane then, are they, again? They're like, no, I just hold him.
Well, look at that goal he scored against Poland the other week, last week. It was a class goal.
Yeah.
Spurs
Spurs
were rubbish, weren't they, at the weekend? It's just...
It's put everything off, and it happens, but you could very quickly, like Lukaku's scored 2, but then Chelsea, next game is...
Tottenham.
Spurs, isn't it?
In the league or in Champions League?
Yeah, so Chelsea, Spurs in the league. They've got Zenit, then Spurs.
Yeah.
Villa, then City. Spurs have got Rennes, Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal. If anything, probably Spurs, other than obviously the Chelsea game, you take that out of the equation, but Spurs have probably got the easier games.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these premium forwards are each going to bang at different times, and you just got to put your faith into who you believe has got the probably better fixtures. And yeah, bit of form. I think what James said earlier was a massive one, was with Son, because I think Kane and Son are a bit of a double act. I think he'll suffer without him, so it could be a big factor. On your spot, lads, would you... So Thursday, Kane comes on. No, well, I say comes on. He starts the game. He scores 2 or 3. Are you then taking him out for Lukaku for the following week? Completely hypothetical. Are you, like, if it was a team that you're looking at, would you then take Kane out for Lukaku if you had the chance?
If I had unlimited transfers, I would. Yeah, I'd take him out for Lukaku.
Because you fancy Lukaku going forward.
Yeah, and I fancy Chelsea against Tottenham.
Yeah. James, same.
Yeah, I see what Ben's saying there. I mean, if you had unlimited transfers, you'd swap him out for you'd bring him in for Spurs, and then you'd probably switch back to Kane, based on the fixtures. Yeah. Kane has got potentially easier fixtures than Chelsea, because, like you said, Chelsea have got Man City and Juventus near the end of the month, and they're not going to be easy fixtures, are they? So, Kane's, you got to keep an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, Kane's got potentially easier fixtures after the Chelsea game than Lukaku has. Yeah. So it's a tricky one.
It is. Oh, for that helps you in, but it is tricky. It's who you fancy. Who do you fancy, mate?
You only get 5 transfers each month as well, so it's like you can't.
That's it.
Keep changing if you've got other problems in your team as well. Kane's not a bad striker to have in there if you have other problems to do.
Yeah, it's not like you're stuck with an Antonio who's just been red carded.
Yeah.
And that kind of dilemma. Who's off the. Obviously, he's not as valuable in regards to like the funds. So then you're struggling to upgrade him. Like, there's all sorts of dilemmas. But
the only thing that worries me is if Kane doesn't play Europa Conference, then he's not very. I think you need to get rid of him then.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't play, boom, he's gone. Take him out. Lukaku's going up in price.
Yeah,
probably. Obviously, depending on what happens in European games, Lukaku will go up, Kane will go down, and yeah, I think that will tell us more going forward, won't it? In that. Kane probably is going to be rested for the majority of them conference games, unless they start getting to a quarter semi-final. You guess he'd bring him back in, but right, Fergie's apprentice. I've gone with a brave front 3 of Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Kane. Should I switch Kane out for Salah, and we don't see any improvements? Very much similar. Or should I wait with my 2 transfers left to join the Chelsea train at the end of the month? So he's got 2 transfers. So we've got a bit of a scenario here. He's not got Salah though. Go on. What would you do, James?
Well, I would always have Salah in the first place, of course. But would I switch out Kane for Salah? Again, going back to what we've said, keep an eye on what's happening with the Spurs in Europe. If Kane's going to play those games, then I'm not sure I would, because Liverpool's fixtures are. Well, we've got good fixtures.
Yeah.
But AC Milan are not probably quite defence. Being Italian side are probably quite tight at the back. So I don't know. Actually, I probably would consider doing that. I don't know, Ben. What do you reckon? Moving on.
No, it's so far.
Well, it's obviously if you've got other problems in the team, I wouldn't do it. But if you've got a good team and you're happy with it, then you've got the spare 2 transfers, then I would probably go to Salah because they've got Palace next game after the transfers open up again, and then Norwich in the Cup, but I don't think he'll play the Cup game, will he? And
I doubt he'll play against Norwich in the Cup, no.
And then they've got another lovely couple of games. They've got Brentford and Porto before October, then they play Man City. But that you'll get the transfers come in again during the international break, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. After the Man City game.
Yeah.
Hang
I
on.
think it's all gonna rely on. Does Kane play them European Conference games? That's what everything's resting on. If he does, you've got to have him in, haven't you? He'd be scurrying the shit out of them.
Oh yeah, if he plays. I think the transfers come in before the Man City game actually, because the Friday the 1st, isn't it?
What date is the City game?
Sunday the 3rd. So Friday the 1st.
Yes, it will. Friday
Yeah,
the
they
3rd.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's only 2 more game weeks before the new transfers come in.
So yeah, it's that punt. I'd see this Thursday. If Kane isn't playing in them games, I'd be on to Salah. That'd be my opinion.
We missed a question, Tony, which was from FPL now the young man, which is 4-4-2 a good option this season?
Sorry, I did miss the second part of his question.
Yeah. An answer to that, I would say, I think it is a potentially good option because, like we said earlier, there is a dearth of low priced good midfielders. So, but there's probably more defenders that are half decent around the sort of 3 million mark, but there's hardly any. There's not many midfielders around that mark. So I think it's could be a good option 4-4-2 for certain periods of the season, anyway.
Yeah, it's them front 3 though.
Yeah,
I can't. I mean, so if you went 4-4-2, you'd end up with 2 of Salah, Kane, Ronaldo, Lukaku. I'd be shitty myself.
yeah.
I mean, avoiding one and leaving one out is bad enough. I think if I left 2 out, I don't think I'd be able to function all weekend.
That's a good point.
I'd be shimmering. But I mean, 4-4-2. Yeah, I get what you're saying about the midfield because we're struggling. We're probably struggling a little bit this year with the midfield options. But up front, Jesus Christ, we need a 4-2-4, don't we?
Yeah.
4-2-4 had used to let you play that on Champ Man.
I think they did. Yeah.
England won the World Cup with a 4-2-4, didn't they?
Yeah.
4-3-3 is much more viable, isn't it, than 4-4-2?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just trim that midfield back. Yeah, 3 strikers. It's hard enough deciding with 3.
It must be hard though if you haven't like got on with the price rises and got the right players in at the right times.
Oh, definitely.
And then you're
you
struggling
can
to
only
get
afford 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you'll have to end up taking out Bruno to get Ronaldo or something like that,
Yeah.
which ain't great.
Well, no, it's why I probably didn't jump on that straight away. And I'm probably lucky that there was only a 10-point difference between the two players at the end of the day. If Bruno didn't smash in that absolute beauty, I'd have probably been kicking myself a little bit. But I wanted to see how the land lied. And for me, it was a doubt whether he was going to start. And then when he starts, you're like, we're never in doubt. You're like, fucking, well, yeah, true. Why shouldn't he start? He's fit as a fiddle. He's fitter than anybody in there. He's fitter than half that United squad. He's definitely fitter than Phil Jones. I know that. But, yeah. Anyway, let's jump on to the Mini League Top 10. Bit of a sad sight. None of us are in there.
I know what's going on.
So they've got my dreamy voice to read it out.
Early days, Tony.
It is early days. It is. We're just finding our feet. Anyway, top 10. Joint 10th, Mark Williamson and Henry Cartridge on 268. In 9th, Heath Robson on 269. In 8th is Martin Burke on 270. In 7th, Stephen Williams on 275. 6th, Niles Koopman, 276. In 5th, Peter Carley, 281. In 4th, Niles Koopman again. 2 teams up there in the top 6. He's on 283 points. In 3rd, bronze medal so far, Jonathan Perrott, 284. In 2nd, Darren Slater. I say his name now. I don't have to say his team name, do I? 285 points. And top after this game week is Alex Cole on 295 points. Great score.
New leader.
New leader. First time this week, Alex Cole. Fair play to you, mate. It's a very, very strong top 10, that. Some good scores up there, chaps. So, pat on the back for you lot. Right. Most owned percentage. We'll have a check through this, Ben. We'll give this a read out, mate.
Right, Bruno Fernandes, top of the leaderboard, 65%. Salah, 61%. Jack Grealish, which surprises me, he's 40%. What do you think about that, lads? Do you think he's nailed? Do you think he's nailed in your team, or do you think
it's the price? I think it's the price and the amount of minutes he's playing.
Yeah.
And like we discussed, didn't we? Like the 3s and 5s, probably just trickling them off all season, I guess.
Can't see him getting many man of the matches at City now. He was nailing them at Villa.
Yeah. It's the trouble when you go to a bigger side.
Yeah.
Bigger side. They'll hate that, Villa fans, won't they? But you go to a bigger side, bigger players, like a lot more players are vying for that star man.
Yeah.
Whereas Villa was the main man. Everything went through him. So
yeah. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38%. He's got another clean sheet and assist. Romelu Lukaku, he's flew up to 37% now.
yeah.
Luke Shaw, 37%. Starting to produce some assists, which is good. Looking good with Ronaldo, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Up front. Ruben Diaz, 29%. Harry Kane down to 29%. I think a few people have jumped off him to get in Ronaldo or Lukaku.
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk, 29%. Harry Maguire, 28%. Mason Mount, 24%.
That's massively high, that.
Mason Mount?
For this moment in time, with Chelsea's fixtures and stuff, I think that's quite high, 25%. 24.3.
Yeah, and he's got a price. He's gone up in price since last season. He was only like 3.5, I think, at the start of the season last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he started about 4.5 this year. Yeah. Edison, 21%. Ronaldo, only 21%. So I'm surprised he's not in more, really.
Well, I suppose it's going to take people want to it was his first game. I think going from 0 to 21's that's massive, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was cautious
in the space
with
of a week.
I put him into a couple of teams. Maybe I think I put him into more of my lesser teams that hadn't maybe started as well.
Yeah.
And he's boosted them up, to be fair, with a nice 18 points. Happy days, but I didn't take the punt in my more stronger teams. I wanted to see what happened.
I had Salah and Kane in all my teams, so I didn't want to take one of them out to put Ronaldo and Lukaku in, which now looks like the dream team strike force, doesn't it? Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Salah.
Yeah.
But that was a tricky one for me, so I had to do Ronaldo in some and Lukaku in the other.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Torres in my midfield as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Son's down to 21% now. Surprised he's still in a few teams.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres 19%. Pogba 18%. Vardy 18%. Sancho 18%. Sterling 18%. And Marcos Alonso 18%.
Sancho.
Yeah.
Oh, devastated.
He blanked again, didn't he?
All them owners. He's not shown anything either. He's not even that, we talk about, say, Traore, he gets the Starman Awards, and he's no end product, or he's not elite. With Sancho, he's not showing anything. Right? There's nothing coming from him, from what I've seen. Definitely completely different to the player that I've seen at Dortmund, that were absolutely tearing things up, and he looked so dangerous at Dortmund. Goal, a threat, assisting, he was quality. What's happened, God knows. Interesting one. I don't know if you two can enlighten me on what's going on there, but he just doesn't seem the same player, does he?
He's only started 2 games, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. He's only started a couple, hasn't he? He'll take time to settle in, I think, when I think he's got quality.
They're playing him on the left as well, which he was playing on the right for Dortmund. So maybe that's the problem, I don't know. But if you're a top quality winger, you should be able to play on both sides.
Yeah. That's a good point. Left to right. Maybe that is the issue. We'll see. We'll see in the next few weeks. But a lot of people, obviously, I think he was 4.5 million, weren't he? Straight off the bat. Yeah. A lot of people jumped on him straight away, thinking he'd light the Premier League up, and he's gone a little bit missing on it. Most transferred in. No prizes for getting number 1 here. James, you want to go through them, mate?
It's no prizes, like you say. 59,000 brought in Ronaldo.
It's Ronaldo.
Second to that was Torres with 36,000. You've got De Gea coming into 17,000 sides. Deer, who's now injured, 12,000. Alonso, 12,000. That's an interesting one, really, because what's happened to Chilwell? He's not played a single game, has he?
I think
not in the league, anyway.
I think was he who dropped a message if he's either slept with Tuchel's wife, or I think Alonso has just. I mean, he's been an absolute animal early doors.
He's looked good, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think if he's showing that hunger in training and that, fair play to Tuchel. I mean, Chilwell wasn't his signing; it was a Lampard signing. I don't think Chilwell's a bad player. He's a very, very good backup left back to have, isn't he? He's a good player, Chilwell.
Yeah, but the thing that confuses me is that Chilwell was preferred last year, I would say, quite considerably. And he actually said, "I play Alonso in when we play the taller sides," which is a bit of to put him down. But like you said, Alonso has looked really good, and he's always had question marks about his defensive capabilities. But when he was, I watched him in their last game, and he was tracking back. He was really, he wasn't sort of ambling back. He knows he's got to he's got to put a shift in, and he was putting a shift in. So I'm guessing that's what it is.
I definitely agree. I think he seems 2 or 3 yards quicker. He seems to have like a bit of an anger about him. His defensive work, I think there's a bit of a meanness to him. I don't know where that's come from. Maybe it is through comments of I'll play him against taller sides because I'll just use his aerial ability. And whereas he's thinking, actually, I'm a better left back than Chilwell.
Yeah,
and he's going to show it. But he has come out like a greyhound, and he's looked very, very good.
I read somewhere that Chilwell was supposed to be back in training a bit earlier than he came back, and he didn't take up the option of coming back earlier. So that's annoyed Tuchel. So that's why he's not been playing him. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read somewhere.
That would certainly go some way to explaining it, Ben, because it does seem odd that he's not got. Has he got a minute yet? I'm not sure he has.
No, I think Alonso's played every single minute.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's played it very well as well. It's whatever has gone on has obviously boosted Alonso, and he's back to his dream team best, like going forwards and then being in that back line with that Chelsea lot because they're so solid. I mean, he's an absolute dream at the minute, but you just never know, do you? You just never know where he's going to get dropped.
If he's nailed on, or as good as nailed on as you can get with Tuchel, then he's got to be the number one target for that defence, isn't he? Well, I mean, Reece James is a lot more expensive, so Alonso at 3.5.
It's a bargain.
He's got to be must have. But anyway, I've digressed slightly. Apologies, Straps. Antonio 10,000 in. Traore, your man 7,000. Mendy, the Chelsea goalkeeper 7,000. Lloris nearly 7,000 in. Damari Gray 2.2 million. Obviously, some people trying to pick up an enabler there. Nearly 7,000. You've got Fornals at nearly 7,000. But Benrahma nearly 7,000. Tanganga nearly 5,000. Brought him in this week. And 5,000 picked up Kane and 3,000 odd picked up Matip. Anything else that stands out on there for you guys rather than me read the whole lot?
Lukaku's not on the list.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Ben.
That's a good spot, Ben. That is strange, isn't it?
Yeah. I definitely brought him in a few teams.
Everyone's gone for Ronaldo, haven't they? Because he's the big man, the star, one of the most famous players, I suppose.
Yeah.
They've all ignored Lukaku for this week, or couldn't fit him in for that matter.
Well, yeah, be a big ass, wouldn't it, to fit in Ronaldo and Lukaku at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, not much else on there, apart from a few people breaking Tanganga and Harry Kane, but yeah.
Townsend's a weird one as well.
Yeah, I mean, at 3.1 million, are you bringing in Townsend with no European football or Benrahma or Fornals?
Yeah.
It's a strange one, that. The only thing I would say is that Everton's fixtures are very good, but
they are very nice.
I wouldn't touch them without any European games.
Yeah.
No.
But if you were going to go for an Everton player, you go for Gray's 2.2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bit cheaper, isn't he? But yeah.
And he seems... Is he not starting more than what Townsend is? I'm sure Townsend were on bench the other week.
Yeah, he's got...
That's a bizarre one, isn't it?
He scored 2 goals already as well, Gray.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the man to go for, really, if you wanted an Everton player.
Yeah, if you brought in Townsend this week, contact us on Dream Team Tonic Twitter and explain why you did it.
That'd be great if we got a response. Right, the most transferred out. Our mate there, Sam, is nearly 20,000 transfers out, understandably, after his injury announcement. Ederson, nearly 15,000 transfers out of Ederson. And I'm guessing that is to do with the all the confusion with regards to like Brazilian players and this, that, other, with the South American games going on.
Or
Go on.
it's to enable budget to bring in Ronaldo
Yeah.
and Lukaku.
Yeah.
Possibly. Have they dropped him, put De Gea in? Because I think, was De Gea there on the transfers in? He was, weren't he?
3 million.
17,000 transfers in. They've stole a million from there.
I
Possibly.
I went from Edison to Sa in my Man City block to enable quite a bit of money. 2.3 million I got from that.
Right.
Jose Sa, Wolves.
Which is decent. They got a clean sheet as well this week.
Nice
so,
fixtures as well for Wolves.
yeah, they do have decent fixtures, and they've looked pretty solid, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just a shame they don't have the European football as well. Sancho, 14,500 out. No surprise there. Flattered to the sea so far. Ings, 10,500 out. Allison, 10,500 out. Again, I think Allison is the same move,
Yeah.
like you say, about trying to drop the keeper budget down to enable a Ronaldo or a Lukaku. Martinez, is he still in jail?
He's in Croatia, isn't he?
Or they're doing the
Yeah.
quarantine in Croatia, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, 2.7 million. He's out of 9,500 teams. Pereira, that's your Pereira, that,
Yeah.
Ben.
Ricky P
Ricky P, out of
Yeah.
9,000 teams.
on the bench.
Mane, got a goal tonight. 8,000 managers, maybe a little bit gutted. Mason Mount, nearly
What?
7.
How could people get rid of Mason Mount, Tony?
I do not
How
understand.
dare they?
In fact, I'm going to be having some stern words. It's disappointing that they're upsetting my lad like that. Sterling, it's exactly the same. Nearly 7,000 transfers out. Vardy, your man Ben, 6.5 out. We've got Mahrez, Barnes on there. Salah. Mo Salah
What the
is
hell?
on the transferred out list.
That's
Wow.
definitely a Ronaldo or a Lukaku move.
I tell you what, it's thrown up some surprises. Nearly 6,000 people transferring him out, and I think that is ultimately just to put Ronaldo in, surely.
Yeah.
Mm.
There'd be no reason to transfer him out. I mean, Fernandez is on this list. God, my mind's blown. Fernandez as well. Nearly 5,000 transfers out. I mean, we get that because of the penalty thing and this, that, other, but these massive players that are being culled. Maddison, nearly 5,000 transfers out. I didn't think 5,000 teams would still have Maddison. but well, they did.
He's been poor this season.
He has. He's at the same price as Tsimikas, who's been an absolute dream. A bit of a dream team legend this year. Tsimikas has done well. Do you think he might sneak a game in Europe, James?
Could do.
I'm
answering your question there, James.
Sorry, what was the question?
Tsimikas, do you reckon he could sneak a game in Europe?
I think he's played well since he's been in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he'll play against AC Milan though. I think he'll definitely play in the cup.
Yeah,
but-
cup games.
I think he might play against some of the weaker European sides, but not say AC Milan coming up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good. I thought he might have come on for a clean sheet today. Just for the last 2 minutes. That'd have been interesting. Wendy, obviously another one in jail. Or in
Croatia. Another one in Croatia.
We'll call it jail. And Maguire at the bottom of the list. They're 3,700. Again, I think that's just a budget enabler. But to be fair, United struggling for clean sheets, not the best. Right, differential league. I wasn't drunk when I chose my player this week.
Are you sure?
No, I'm saying that early. We'll see by the end of the month. But so the differential league choices for this month for September. The community chose Jota. Ben, second choice went for Greenwood. Solid choice, I think. Our third pick, I went for Havertz. Fergie enabled his cheat code for the season. I went for a Traore. He should be banned. And James, you obviously being in the lead, you got last pick.
I did.
It's turned out to be a good pick so far, so we won't be through our sheets. Robertson at Liverpool, obviously come back with a clean sheet. But that will be updated. I'll be getting it up on the website to track the league on that. And we'll update it at the end of the month once all the games are played. That's about it from us. If you've not been across to the website to read the blogs, we've got Reem who does an FPL blog for us. We've got Reese and Steve who do the Sky Fantasy Football blogs if you play that game, and Mike who does his fan team blog. Like us, if you've not had yourself a beer this evening, we've had quite a few, mostly from Beer 52, a great craft beer company, and if you go across to the site beer52.com/tonic and get yourself a free case of ale, just pay delivery, and you get yourself a nice case of beer just for the delivery cost, and you'll support this pod going forward. So it's a win-win, as you probably heard the advert at the start of the thing. So maybe a week ago, 10 days ago, we sent out a tweet for people to subscribe and a retweet, get themselves in for a free draw of a free case of ale for our listeners. So here's the draw. I'm going to do it live. So hopefully this works out. Let's see how it goes. But here we go. Begin draw. All the people that are eligible for it. Here we go. It's drawing a winner. Drawing complete. For the camera. Here we go. Here I go, lads. Where am I? There we are.
Who's won it?
Can you see it?
Matty Blake, is that?
Matty Blake.
Ah.
Well done,
Nice
Matt.
one, Matty.
Right, Matty. So we'll take your details, your delivery details, mate. Just get in touch with us. Drop us a DM with your address, and we'll get the free case sent over to you via Beer 52. Good man. Enjoy them beers, pal.
Yeah, nice one,
Well done,
Matty.
Are you sure, Ben? You've been up a few nights during last month, haven't you?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Ben, who's welcomed a little girl to his bustling family. So there's 4 of them now in the Lee household.
Thanks, mate.
So, congratulations, mate, and all went well. Mrs. all good. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben's on paternity, running around the house, trying to do his dream team transfers at the same time. struggling to get him in on time, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
But all good. So, yeah, the family grows, mate.
Does.
Is that it? Is that it too?
Yeah, 2's enough.
It is. It is when you're a boy and girl, mate. I
Yeah.
settle for that. Boy and girl, the job's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice one, Ben.
Cheers, mate.
But yeah, the Tonic family grows. So yeah, we'll be back next week. No international breaks, thank the Lord. And thanks everyone for listening. Quite a lot of people that listen haven't clicked subscribe. If you could please smash that subscribe button, it helps us going forwards, continuing these pods. Drop a like, drop a comment, everything you do, all the interactions, brilliant.
Get yourself a case of beer.
Yeah, get one of them.
Good stuff.
It's bloody good beer as well.
Yeah. Chicago this month, innit?
Yes, as long as you've not got an addictive personality. I don't want to promote alcoholism, but they're bloody good. And your advice comes via all that. I drank one tonight, the Escapist. It's only 6.7%, so quite an easy one.
Lovely beer that I had that yesterday.
But yeah, fill your boots, get yourself a free case, £5.95 delivery. beer52.com/tonic. Happy days. Thanks for listening. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.